my name's Donald Flash. I'm 24 years old and I'm an aspiring writer. I like to write children's stories and short films in my spare time. My current project revolves around a sci-fi film regarding the Antichrist. For those of you that don't know who the Antichrist is, it's essentially Jesus' evil twin. In the film, it follows a boy who's half human, half Pleiadian. For those of you that don't know what a Pleiadian being is, they're said to be alien beings who look just like humans, just that they're blue in skin color, and they're said to reside in a constellation a little bit far from Earth. I don't know what the constellation's called exactly, but for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll call it the Pleiades constellation. Now, this boy who's half human, half Pleiadian, is actually, his DNA is taken from him at birth, and he's actually cloned and replaced by a replicate clone. Now, this replicate clone who's sent to replace this boy is actually is hooked up by microchips and hooked up to a machine in order to be controlled and monitored throughout his entire life by the secret society who created him. Now, this replicate clone is programmed to think he's the actual boy, but the only thing is, he doesn't know he's like half Pleiadian or anything like that. He thinks he's just a normal human being like everybody else. Now, this clone replicate copy, who's raised to believe he is the actual boy, is grows up living his life trying to be good, trying to do nice things, do good deeds, that sort of stuff, be a good person essentially. But he has one problem. He has a bad temper that essentially gets in the way of him doing the good deeds that he tries to do. Now, he is unaware of what his actual actions are until he becomes a little bit older, and he finds himself in a certain situation where it kind of wakes him up, sort of thing. At this point, that's where the boy realizes that he doesn't really care about helping people or doing good. He just more cares about money and powers, and power and fame, like the material stuff. Once the boy realizes this, that's when the awakening, we'll call it, starts to happen, and he starts to learn the real truth about his existence and how he's actually a clone replicate of a boy who's half Pleiadian, half human, and how he was sent to replace this boy. And he starts to learn how he's pretty much been controlled his entire life and programmed his entire life. Now, before all this happens, he also develops a drug/alcohol addiction, which leads up to this happening, which I forgot to mention, as well as finding himself in other situations which I still have to decide, which will all lead up to the whole awakening stuff. But essentially, that's what happens, which leads to his awakening. Now, once he realizes all this, this starts to make him go crazy, but he isn't at that tipping point yet. What happens is he's also what I forgot to mention is throughout his entire life he's also been in contact with fifth dimensional beings, which also contributes to the whole him having trouble doing good sort of thing, because the whole contact with fifth dimensional beings kind of starts it kind of starts triggering the insanity, but he doesn't exactly go insane until he's older, sort of thing. But we're getting off topic, sorry. But anyway, so before he actually goes to the tipping point of going insane, he ends up contacting alien beings. Well, not alien beings, but the Pleiadian beings, more specifically his father in particular. Now, at first he doesn't go insane. At first he thinks it's kind of cool that he's half alien, half human and sort of thing, but eventually pretty much everything throughout his whole life, the lies and the whole contact with the fifth dimensional beings and him being cloned and stuff like that, that all eventually starts to hit him and he eventually goes crazy. Now, but the thing is, he doesn't go berserk and start killing people right away. He tries to control the craziness and tries to control his temper and stuff like that. But essentially he finds himself again, like I said, he has that temper that he has always had trouble controlling, and this just made it a whole lot worse. All this news and stuff that came to him, so this essentially causes him to find himself in more trouble, which puts him in a desperate situation where he ends up selling his soul to the devil. Now, in doing so, he ends up receiving a large sum of money unexpectedly, and he ends up using that money to climb up the power ladder to eventually rise up in the secret society. Now, once he rises up in the secret society, he ends up actually like taking over and like essentially becoming the supreme leader, where he this is where he starts to do like the real damage, and he essentially wipes out most of the human population and pretty much destroys a good chunk of the planet. Now, at this point, the secret society realizes that this boy is a whole lot more evil than they are, and that he actually needs to be stopped. Now, how they stop this boy is very interesting, because the person that leads the like army to stop him is actually someone that the boy mentored to essentially take over after the boy dies. But this person realizes that this guy is evil, and like his way is not the way to go, so he leads this army to essentially take the boy down. How they take him down is they trap him onto a planet in a galaxy far, far away from humanity, where he cannot harm pretty much humanity at all. Now, I want to leave the ending as an open-ended ending, like a cliffhanger sort of thing, just in case like people actually like the film and want to see a sequel. But essentially, that's what the film is about. It's about a clone boy who turns evil and rises to power, wipes out most of humanity, and is ended up shipped onto a planet far, far away from planet Earth. Now, there are a lot more details that I still have to work out. I'm still in the rough phases of the project, but that's what I have so far. My goal for this project is to raise $50,000. What I'll be using the money for, it'll be for essentially like startup costs, like getting a crew together, the equipment and all that stuff, and marketing cost, and pretty much any expenses that will come with the film. But essentially, what the 50K, what I plan on using the 50 grand for would be for marketing costs, equipment, and the cost of like a film crew and stuff, and that stuff. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Oh yeah, also, I plan on starting to film at the beginning. Well, I plan on having the script ready by the beginning of June, so I would like to have the money raised by then if possible. I appreciate every donation I get, and I'm very grateful for any help that I can get on this project. And this is a project I'm definitely excited for, and I think will do pretty good. And I thank you all in advance for all your help and support, and I'll see you all when the film is ready. Thank you.